what's going on YouTube? Wanted to do a series or, I don't know, we'll see. This is kind of a first for us. This is my daughter. She runs a small, or she has a small Instagram account called Seacow Studios, right?
Yes.
Where she posts artwork and such. I will put a link in the description if you want to follow her. I figured just let my kids give an honest review of Nerf blasters, of modern ones, of ones that I've done. So, let's see what they think. So, first question. When did you learn that I modified Nerf blasters? Like, seriously modified them to do crazy stuff?
I first found, when it really first sunk in was probably when you helped me modify my very own first Nerf gun. And then you were showing me some of the other stuff that you did, because when I would go downstairs and I'd see all the Nerf guns in the basement, it didn't really ever occur to me that you had made them all. Or that you were modifying them and stuff like that. Dad collects Nerf blasters. Okay. Cool.
The Maverick, you mean? The one that you painted?
Yes. The one that I made to look like an old-timey one.
That was like last year, wasn't that? Wow, really? It took you what? 13 years to figure out that I did this? To
be fair, I never really asked the questions. I just kind of accepted, oh yeah, my dad collects Nerf guns.
All right, my dad's a weirdo. There's your answer. All right, so when did you learn then that I was on YouTube?
Around the same time.
Around the same time. The Secret Life of Dad. So how did you learn?
It was the Secret Life of Dad. I had no clue. And then I'm going back and I'm looking at all these old videos and I'm like, oh, you had hair.
I had hair.
And I'm seeing all these old videos and I'm going back and I'm watching your Q&As and your blooper reels.
Wow, you actually watched my videos?
Yeah.
Wow.
Show them to my friends too.
Aw. Bummer. So how did you learn that I was on YouTube?
I think my brother had mentioned it while we were in the basement one time, and you were there, and you're like, oh yeah, my YouTube channel, it's got, I think you were at 1,500-ish at the time, and I go, what? I didn't know you were on YouTube. I didn't know you did this as a thing, and I didn't know that was that many people.
There was a time when I thought that I would become a full-time YouTuber.
Really?
And only because monetization, I had reached the point where I could monetize videos. And I thought if I could keep this going, then I could make a bunch of money, quit my job, just do YouTube all the time. And then I had kids, and then that stopped that dream.
Oh, dang. Thanks.
All right, so anyway. So I figured we would start off with some of the smaller blasters. So obviously this is the Mark II, and you have used this before, but let's get your honest opinion. So this one, I believe, is modified internally and externally. So what do you think about the aesthetics, the look of the blaster?
I like the look of the blaster. I'm not really one for the big hunking blasters because usually the ones that you modify, the springs are too strong, so I can't always prime them. But with some deal of effort, I can modify this one, and I won't dry fire it because that's bad. But I've been taught well throughout the past year. And so,
Sad.
So I like this one. I had fairly decent aim with this one. I don't know when it was, but I found out pretty late-ish in my Nerf career, that this part was used to aim. So most Nerf wars that I even participated in between family members were very much one-sided. I got this person on one end and then my older brother on the other end, and they're out here with their big blasters, and I'm now you're dying, and then I was traumatized, and I never picked up a blaster again.
There you go. All right, so aesthetics. You like the smaller pistols and everything.
I do, yes. I also. I like the colors of it. It's nice. The priming is fairly easy. I like the trigger. I had fairly, like I said, decent aim. Pocket sized.
Yep. Cool.
Came with a matching big one. If I could prime it, it'd be nice. But hey.
Oh, well, work out.
Back to
get
the
stronger.
weightlifting. Yeah.
So what about function? Like, what do you think about, you obviously have played with it, so running around on the field, what did you think about, being able to use it? Carry it around, run around with it, reloading, firing, all that stuff.
It was pretty satisfying when I got to hit you guys for like the first time in years.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I like how you're aiming at me. Good job.
Right?
Even though it's not primed or or that it's not loaded. Thanks.
My bad.
So,
Bang!
again, keep going.
Yeah, so...
Function,
so the priming was fairly easy. Although, I guess it's a bit of a, do you want to do... I like the aesthetic. It has a very cinematic feel to have to go... Bang! Bang! Like, one of those shots where they, like, have all the pieces of the gun and they go...
Yeah, yes.
Exactly. Just like that.
All right, so do you know how to load it?
Absolutely not. No, that is not the one. Huh. Well. You see, all you gotta do is say...
Where do you think the darts would go?
Well, they go in there.
Okay. So how do you think you get the darts in there?
Do you put it in that way?
Well, which...
That seems wrong and stupid.
A few moments later.
Hang on. No. That's not how that works. That is how that works.
Now it is loaded.
And primed.
Yes. So maybe you don't, and then you just now double primed it.
That's not good.
Yep, that's not good either. Let me take that away from you. No, yeah?
It did.
Nice. Want to take a shot?
Oh, hey. Was that a dry fire?
Nope. All right, so overall, what do you give the Mark II for aesthetics? Let's say
Aesthetics?
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. Okay, just need to be sure you're sensible. What does 1 mean? What does 10 mean?
1 is totally awful, like avoid this blaster at all costs because it's ugly. 10 is you must get this blaster because it is the prettiest thing I own.
Well, I dare say it's not the prettiest thing I own.
Well, you don't own it, so good job. So,
Oh, geez, thanks.
what do you give the Mark II?
I'd say for aesthetics, probably a 7 or an 8.
Okay. Functionally? Like how easy?
I find the reloading mechanism a bit of a hassle. And because you have to load that up and then you have to open it and stick that in, do that. If you practice, it'll probably be easier and stuff, but you practice. So, other than that, it's pretty good. So, probably 6-ish.
Okay.
7-ish.
All right. So, overall,
Probably.
Overall, if you had to choose between, if I gave you a variety of blasters,
I would probably pick that just because if it's a pistol and I'm not picky, but probably I'd give it an 8 or a 9-ish overall.
Okay. So there you go. 7, 6, 7-ish, and an 8, 9-ish.
I'm very
For
specific.
The Mark II. So that is now out of the way. So do you know what this is?
I know you made it.
What? So do you know the name of this
Pointing it at
blaster?
me.
Do you know the name of this blaster? Which blends into my sweater.
The cheesy 700.
So this is called the Nite Finder. I'm sure most everyone watching recognizes it. This obviously it looks very different from its stock form. I don't even think I own a stock Nite Finder at the moment, but the handle had ribbing on it for grip in here, and it was black. Had the Nerf logo here, and that was black. These sides also had black paint on them. This had a top rail on top of here. There was also down here basically a light that you could, and then you could slip batteries in here, and when you half pull the trigger, the light, it was a red light that would shine, and there were also 2 slots in here for darts. Obviously the barrel was orange and everything like that.
Didn't, the larger fool have one of those?
Might have. I don't know. Probably.
Seems familiar.
So this is my modified Nite Finder. So, first impressions.
Satisfying sound when you pull the trigger.
Okay.
Not that hard to prime if I wasn't being too cautious. If I do say so myself. It's a nice sleek design, rather than having bulk here and stuff. This is a nice cool barrel. Ooh.
Please deprime. Thank you.
Look, I know how to do that. Ah! And so this is nice and smooth now, and it can fit my slightly small hands. So that's nice.
Okay. So, all right, so...
I've never fired this before.
Cool.
So
how do you think you load this blaster?
well, unless I'm a pompous fool, I would assume you put... Wait.
More moments later.
Did that do anything? Ah.
I love how she's just looking down the barrel. Great parenting 101. Here you go.
Yay! Because I want to see what it does, and it's not doing anything. I'm sure it is, and I just can't tell. Otherwise, this is the fool's mechanic, a red herring.
So I will tell you.
Oh my gosh! It makes it longer, and then you put the dart in there. Oh, brain. I was thinking to myself as I was doing this, I was like, should there be, does this close it? And then I was thinking, that's a weird place to put that, because then you can just slide it. Oh.
See, they can be taught. All right, so.
That's where you put the darts.
Load 1. So I will say that on blasters like this, it's much better for performance to actually prime the blaster first and then load and lock.
That makes sense.
Do you know why?
Because if you have it already primed and then you... I'm going to start it this way. If you don't have it primed and then you put the dart in and then you have to prime it, it's a strange order of process to do things, and I find it's probably less efficient than if you already have it primed, put in the dart, and then you can just bam.
There's actually a little bit of... It's not so much that. It's more so that... So if you notice down there, there is a wire
was looking at that.
What that is, that protects this from vacuum loading.
Oh, yeah.
So by putting a dart in the barrel and closing it, you're essentially making this.
And then you pull this and that pulls that back, and then you need.
And so what that does, though, is that if you do it in that order like you did, it kind of squishes the dart a little bit.
Gotcha.
So sometimes I find if I do that, if you look at the dart when it actually flies out, it kind of wobbles all over the place versus priming it and then basically sealing up the barrel, because then all that air doesn't allow it to kind of squish and compress.
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense.
All right, so you've fired it.
I have.
So, aesthetics. So let's go with our 1 to 10 rating again. What do you think about this blaster?
Should I be brutally honest?
Absolutely.
I think it needs a paint job.
Sure.
Other than that, because when I looked at it, my first thought was cheese, not Nite Finder.
Sure.
I mean, clearly you can see some of the black paint, but so the paint job is.
See, so that's the funny part, and I totally don't discredit. I did actually have plans to paint this blaster.
What colors?
I didn't know. I hadn't actually decided, but I actually like the fact that it was just this kind of grimy feeling blaster, and
Yeah.
you know. And
I can get that. Yeah.
one thing that I really like about Nerf is just that it's fun, right? It's fun and it's a toy.
Yes.
Fun toy. It's got all the great markings for
And
a good
totally
time.
safe, totally child-proof, and.
No. All right. So keep going.
So as far as the aesthetics go, the barrel is cool looking. Yes, and it's a nice sleek design. I'm a fan of sleek designs, if you couldn't tell. Pistols. I mean, I get that doesn't mean pistols, but whatever. So, I'd probably give it... Geez, now I'm thinking about paint designs. I'd probably give it, like, probably a 6.
Okay.
It'd probably be a 10 if I painted it.
6 it is. So what about functionality?
Well,
Like, you obviously haven't run with it on the field,
no.
but overall, like, you know, what would you think about having to field this, running around, being able to load it, fire it, prime it,
Well, I'm probably...
rinse and repeat?
Didn't mean to do that. Anyways, so, I think, again, with the loading mechanisms, practice, but that's a pretty good one. Although you, like, have to keep the strings of Nerf bullets and stuff.
That's why we carry bags of darts. But yes,
You guys have purses, too?
we have purses. They're called dump pouches.
So undignified.
Well, better than a fanny pack.
Well, I never said a fanny pack.
All right. Well,
I
again.
said purses.
Okay, continue.
Right. So, as far as functionality goes, it's nice and light, easy to conceal and go. I thought I dry fired it when I first fired it, stuff, and I go, that'll probably make sure they know they got hit. So, I think it's a nice one that'll leave a sting, and I like it.
And your rating?
Mm,
So, functionality rating.
probably like a 7 or an 8.
Okay. And then overall design, like overall aesthetics, design, everything.
Probably like an 8
Okay.
or 9.
Cool. So now,
Sounds
between
really
the two,
nice. Yeah.
which one would you choose to run with? And which one would you give a nod to? The Dart Zone Pro Mark II or the modified Nite Finder?
Well, I think it's the obvious choice here. This one has a much satisfying click sound. Like, listen. That's obvious. This one doesn't have as nice of a handle now that I'm holding them back and forth. This one feels more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
This one has like a more of a cinematic movie-esque design. And this one gives me more Wild West, and I'd spin it if I was sure I'd catch it, but...
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, no. But... Like, I acknowledge this one. I would prefer this one just because I'm a little biased because of the clicky sound, but
Right.
and because I want to paint it. But but I like it. This one is good too, but I think just slightly I like this one more. And I think I can't tell, and I'm not a robot, but I think it packs more of a punch than this one.
Probably.
Because dangerous back in the day. Children. So, you know.
All right. Cool. So, any final thoughts between the two? Or with one or the other?
So I was thinking you start with the gradient and start with some light purples up here and maybe some dark blues, and then because you said like Nite Finder and... Okay, I'll tell you later.
Paint a blaster that is iconic and wanting to change this thing.
You changed it? It was probably iconic. Look at it now. It's still iconic, but you changed it first. And so if I change it, it'll still be iconic, just for me.
Anyway, so again, thank you for
You're welcome.
the review of the Mark II and my modified Nite Finder. You heard it here first, an unbiased review. Nite Finder wins over the Dart Zone Mark II. Whether or not that is really something that someone would choose on the field,
They might pick it if it's painted pretty.
anyway, thank you guys for following along on this crazy little review that we've got going. I do have plans, and I'd like to be able to bring in my daughter and possibly my son to do some more reviews of modern blasters, of some of my own older modified blasters. And so let me know in the comments what you think of this review and of my crazy sidekick. I'd love to hear you. I'd love to hear your comments. I read them and try to respond as much as possible. Please go check out Seacow Studios on Instagram, where she posts all of her artwork. And that is all I have for you guys today. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You ready?
Yeah.
What's going...
Sorry, I'm getting out of my system.
Are you ready now?
No, hang on.